Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's episode 83 and today is a very exciting day indeed because we're going to be finishing up the witch farm. Hopefully, if everything goes well. Now obviously this is going to be fairly redstone intensive because we need to get all of the shifting floors set up. So we're going to be moving those floors back and forth, which are going to be dropping out all of the witches. We also need to do the item collection system. We need to make sure that it's dark enough. We need to make sure that it's working. And we need to make sure that all of the items travel into a storage system that is big enough to actually house all of the items. Now, I'm not sure we'll be able to build the full storage system in today's episode, but I actually want to get it producing items by the end of the day. And for some reason, these are all the redstone components that I have currently. That could be an issue. So here we are at the massive hole that we built in the previous episode of Hermitcraft. This place is looking pretty impressive, and that area right there is where our actual witch farm is going to be going. So we have pistons going back and forth, and we have... What on earth is that? What on earth is that thing? Was that a... I mean, it was flying around like a bat. I mean, there's plenty of bats down here, but that looked red. Where did it even go? Oh, I've got to try not to land in lava here. There's just a pickle. There's no one online. And... There's just a pickle. Anyway, as I was saying, in theory, it is just pistons and observers down. I need to take a break. I'm gonna kill some guardians. I think that will make me feel a little bit better. Right, after some recovery time, we're back over at the witch farm, and the first thing I have to do is actually switch out all of the slabs that we used for the shifting floors. I don't know why. I mean, I must have had like a 2013 mindset here, but we haven't used slabs for shifting floors in ages because they totally stopped working ages ago. Now we have to go between solid blocks and soul sand blocks because there's a slight change in height between these two things, and that comes in handy. Now we just need to go back and forth, placing in all of the pistons on either side, so these are going to be actually moving the floors back and forth. And now that that's done, it's time to place the casing around this thing, so we're going to have glass with it because I want to be able to see all of the witches dropping out of this thing. I think that will look really interesting. Now we need to add in something very important, which is all of the trapdoors on the inside. Now, if you're wondering what on earth these things do, it's actually to hold our witches in place. Because as I mentioned earlier on, you know, this soul sand is slightly lower than the stone bricks, and that means that when the floor shifts over, all it's going to do is it's going to move our witches across like this. So, because they have a hard edge on either side, that edge is going to push up against the witch, and the witch is just going to do this and move back and forth in the shifting floor and actually not drop through, which is no good. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we hold the witches in place, and we do that using these trapdoors right here. So the witch will spawn, and then it will be stuck in this area, and as the floor shifts around, they won't be able to move back and forth, which means that as the soul sand moves away and the stone bricks go underneath the witch's feet will actually glitch into the stone bricks. They'll go into the stone brick, and it will no longer be standing on top of a block, so it will drop straight through, down to the bottom, and hopefully die and give us all of its items. Now, I don't know if I should be scared or not. Not seeing very many witches in the hut. Let's fly up and then fly down. I mean, I'm probably loading up a lot of mobs, and it's probably not that dark in there. I mean, do I have reason to be concerned? I don't know. Anyway, now that all the boring stuff is done, like the soul sand, the trapdoors, placing in the pistons and the glass and everything like that, we can actually start work on the redstone circuitry, which is where things get a tiny bit more exciting. And the reason that I'm out here just taking out all these observers is because, funnily enough, I've actually run out of them, so this seemed like a good place to grab a bunch. Now, the cool thing about this design is that there's no real redstone on the inside of it. By that, I mean there's not many redstone repeaters, there's not much redstone dust or anything like that. It's all powered by observers and powered rails, simply because they tend to cause less lighting updates, and that's good for lag and performance on the server, which we do have to be careful of. So these observer lines right here run down and they power all of the pistons, and these are all going to be timed perfectly, so the floor shifts back and forth like that, and then just after, as the witches land on the next floor will go across, and then the next floor, and they'll all drop out as fast as possible. Right, so these observers gradually snake their way down here, and then let me just take a look. Okay, so there's going to be another observer that points downwards here, and then another observer that points across like this, and then that's going to run into a powered rail, so we're going to have another observer pointing downwards around about here. I mean, this is, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, but it's gradually coming together. And I think with this powered rail, that should be everything. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, obviously we'll have to do some tests, but I think that is the entire thing. Right, here goes. I mean, it's difficult to tell. But it looks like all those shifting floors are working. Hang on. Does it work with items? I'm assuming it probably doesn't. But let's see. No, it doesn't. Now that we have it hooked up to some form of redstone clock, it should be easier to see. And yep, that all looks like it's working perfectly. And then we have this pulse extender right here, which will gradually depower. And then eventually when it does, it will fire the whole system again. And that's what's going to be dropping all of our witches through. This is completed. We've actually got the farm done. All we have to do now is build the roof on the top. Done. Done, done, done. Done, done, done. This is a witch hut in the middle of a perimeter that I personally have constructed. And that is a proud moment for me because I've never done that before in Minecraft. Oh, I don't even know what to think. I mean, as me and Grian discussed in my live stream, I mean, this is probably about 40, probably nearing 50 hours of work on my own here that I've put into building up this thing. And I'm very, very happy that it is finished. But of course, there's still a bunch more left to do. But the actual farm itself is finished and working. I just had a witch. We have a witch in the farm. So there we go, that is the first witch that our farm has spawned. Yes, by me going up to the top of that platform, this thing is filled with witches. So we have now got the AFK platform up here, and this unloads all of the areas apart from the witch hut. So this is all incredibly exciting, really, really happy about it. But of course, we still need to do the item collection systems, the killing, and everything like that. So I'm going to repair up my Elytra, and then we're going to get some bits worked out. Well, that was a little bit hairy. This thing was completely covered in mobs. But it obviously needs to go, this spike that is standing up underneath the witch hut. So we need to take this right the way down to the floor. And then this is where our slabs and our hoppers and everything like that are going to be going. They're going to be picking up the drops. This is not good! Oh, no! Oh, no. What wall did I hit? Oh, no, it's that wall! Oh, this is not good. I mean... I'm not... Oh, there's stuff. There's stuff? Did I actually crash where there's no lava? Okay, there's hope for me yet. But not much hope, but there is hope for me yet. Yes! My Elytra here! Okay, I found where I died. It's right above lava. This could be bad. I mean, I'm impressed that nearly all of my gear is there. But I think everything else might have exploded out. No! We still have the Fork of Friendship as well! No way. So we did lose a handful of bits and bobs, but it wasn't too bad. I've lost my sword, so for now I'm just going to be running a regular unenchanted one. Apparently I have one of those lying around. That was a surprise. But yeah, it could have been considerably worse than that, so I'm quite happy. Now hopefully, this goes a little bit better. Essentially what happened there is a creeper came along, blew me off this area here. I then landed in, I believe, that lava, flew out of it, and flew into that wall. It was all very dramatic. Thankfully, despite a few other hairy moments, we managed to make our way through it, and now I'm in the process of placing in all the hoppers. So we should be looking at y equals 35, and I've got to create a platform that is exactly the same size as this shifting floor here. Why is that there? I thought it was all spawn proof. Have I left a block? Looks like I've left a block. I do not know what's happened to the server right now, but it's whatever it is, it's not good. Well, judging from the noises that are coming from the area above me, things are looking good. So this is the hole that they're going to be dropping through. This is where they're going to be dying. All of those slabs down there have got hoppers on top of them, so they're going to be picking up the items. And I'm just going to do a dropper, shooting items into a water stream, and they're going to be taken off over there. But I can't wait to try this thing. There's so many people online right now, so it's probably not even going to work that well. But I just want to see it running. Oh, I just almost fell into lava again. Oh, I hate this place. So the item stream has been built. I've just activated the witch farm, and the items are going to be shot out of this area here. But can't help but notice that a witch has dropped out and lived. I mean, is it built the wrong height? So I've just logged in with my camera account, and I'm watching this thing working. And yeah, I can't help but notice that most of the witches seem to be surviving. I mean, there's a few that are dying, but no, they seem perfectly okay. So I've dropped down half the platform, and now I'm going to do a quick test to see if they continue to survive. And after about half an hour's worth of testing, all of them died. So that means I must have just made a mistake, and I must have just built it one block too high. So I've now gone round, I've placed in all the hoppers, I've placed in all the slabs, and I've replaced our item dropper system. So that is now shooting items upwards, as opposed to being where this block was right here. And now this thing is fully functional and ready to go. So once again, just want to do a quick test and see if all the item transportation is working. Most importantly, see what sort of rates we get when this many people are online. And the answer is it's doing pretty well. So these guys just are consistently spawning inside these platforms, and you can actually see them popping in at this point in time. And then every now and again, the shifting floors go through, they drop down to the bottom, every single one of them dies, and all of their items are ending up here. The only thing that I will say is, and this is probably just random, but I'm not seeing any redstone. I mean, witches do still drop redstone, don't they? I haven't missed out on a big change, no? I mean, I really hope I haven't, because that's the only reason why I've built this farm. Good news, everyone, apparently they still do. So now, I think I'm going to leave the actual farm itself alone. We've done enough on that for today, and I think I'm going to leave the storage system for now as well, just because I want to really commit some time to that and make it absolutely gorgeous. But there is one thing that is definitely a feature of this hole, and that is all of these floating blocks here. Now, I was thinking about what I can do about this. Obviously, landing on them and then taking them all out and then trying to take off before you hit the floor is a little bit risky with my connection problems with the server. So someone down in the comment section, or it might have been in a live stream, suggested something which I think is really, really interesting and think it will be the most fun as well, which is to fly around placing TNT on top of the blocks. I think I should be able to do that quite easily. So you place in the TNT and then you just stand there with a flame bow and you just shoot all of the TNT, gradually igniting it, blowing up all of these flying blocks here. Let's see if we can pull something like that off. Please remind me that all of my useful redstone stuff is in this chest. I really don't want to lose it. Are there any flame books for reasonable prices in here? Flame, 6. Now, I mean, that is very reasonable. Why did I not bring any of mine stuff? I can't believe I'm having to buy sugarcane right now. I mean, that is... You know what? I refuse to. Give me a second. I can't believe I just bought the wrong book. Right, give me a second. Right, now that I'm nicely kitted out with Depth Strider 1 as well, this is going to be my igniter. I decided I should probably get some Infinity too. Right, let's see how well this works, okay? I can do that. It just, the thing is, the TNT needs to go on top of the blocks, alright? So we have to be quite careful here. Oh man, this is actually going to be quite difficult. I mean, it's not that bad, actually, now that I look at it. I mean, it's gonna take some time to do, but it's not horrendous. You just need to fly slow and try and be real careful and just kind of gradually make your way around. Now, the question is, I mean, is that TNT gonna blow up the glass? Maybe. It might. Yeah, I can do this. Oh, don't do that. Okay, gotta be careful of that. I think what I'm learning here is that placing in the TNT is what's quite difficult, because you have to be quite careful. I keep placing it on the sides of blocks, which is really annoying, and you have to just fly real slow and kind of do loops. I think loops is the way to go. So you kind of come in and, yeah, miss. Exactly like that. That's been my experience for about 90% of this time so far. Also, make sure you eat your food, because if you miss, you then fire your carrot, and that's no good. And most importantly, try not to fall in the lava. I know, I should be using some form of fire resistance potion. This is making me realize I really need to get myself a proper brewing station. Anyway, now that I've placed in around about half a stack of TNT, it's time to actually start igniting these things. And this is where my shooting training comes into play. How good am I? I mean, so far I'm at 100%, so you've got to be impressed. Oh no, we've dropped the ratio a tiny bit. It's really difficult to judge distance in here. Okay, that's ignited. That guy right there should now be ignited. I mean, yeah, it's going to be just a kind of gradual process of doing this. Is it working, though? I mean, it does seem to be. Okay, that's on the side of a block, so that's no good. Probably shouldn't have ignited it, because I could have placed another piece of TNT on there and had a bigger explosion. Yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of learning to do, don't I? I don't even think my arrow will actually reach that far. Oh, it seems close, though. No, I think that's too far away. As I say, almost impossible to judge any sense of distance. Oh, am I actually shooting over the top of it? Is that what's going on here? This is what I mean. I can't even tell what's going on. I'm also shooting off to the left, so let's try and sort that. Oh, I don't know. I've actually just started doing a thing which makes life way easier, and that is placing the TNT and then flying around and shooting it. I mean, it's not even difficult to do, because you kind of lose that distance element. This is much better. Right, this is the one that I'm kind of worried about. Oh my word, I got lucky there. I need to be so careful right now. Now, just as a quick thing to mention, I'm only going to be exploding the blocks that are above the area of our killing platform right here. Obviously, a few of them will slip through, and I'll occasionally put TNT on stone that's slightly below, but those are the only blocks that matter, because the reason I have to take these things out is because occasionally mobs could spawn on them, and that's going to affect the efficiency of the farm, which we definitely don't want. I mean, say what you will about how sketchy this technique is, which it is very, very sketchy, but the thing is that it is working really, really well. I mean, if we fly through the side that I have cleared out, you can see that there are no floating blocks really anymore. There's a handful that slip through the cracks just because it's so difficult to spot them, especially close to the walls. That's where things get tricky because, I mean, they're completely camouflaged. So it really is tricky to be able to get them, but that was a wicked shot. I'm quite proud of myself there. But yeah, this side is pretty much all cleared, whereas this side is how it used to be, and you can see they are all over the place. So yeah, we're making good progress. You know, I think this will look really cool in the form of a third-person time-lapse, so we'll do that in the next episode because, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is actually all I've got time for today. It has been a bit of a manic episode, and I've ended up using up all of my allotted time. This video is actually releasing in about an hour and a half, so I've got some editing to do in a bit of a rush. But anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please also like... Wow. This is the worst outro I've ever done. Goodbye.